Hey, how's it going, family? We are back for another one. All praise is due to our Father Yahweh in the name of his beloved Son, our King Hamashiach Yahawashi, and through his wonderful Holy Spirit. Thank you all for joining me today. I want to go ahead and get into this one real quick. And so I was studying, and as I'm studying, it just something said, maybe we should just do a video breaking down this verse. Just break down this verse, right? And so I'm going to start doing something, through the inspiration of the Holy Spirit that I don't normally do. Well, it's just a new angle towards teaching, I guess I should say, or a new way, a new inspiration, however you want to put it, you know, is taking my studies and expounding on them the way I do for myself when I'm studying, to just do videos in that fashion instead of, doing the things, studying, and then coming and do a lesson after I've, put together an elaborate, study or whatnot. And so, without further ado, and for me lacking the wisdom on the right words to say exactly what I'm thinking, I'm just gonna let the Holy Spirit move me, and we're gonna go ahead and get into this thing. So I'm reading Colossians 4 and 5, right? And 6. And I was like, man, I need to break these down for people. All right. But this video is going to be about Colossians 4. All right. Stay tuned for the next video, Colossians part 6. Look for it because it's most likely going to be dropping today. If this video is as short as I think that it could be, or it probably will be, then I'm going to drop it today. If this video through the Spirit ends up being longer than I intend, then I'll just drop it tomorrow. So we're gonna see. I don't really know how long this is gonna be. I'll be flowing in the Spirit, and I'll let the Spirit determine. All right, so Colossians chapter 4, verse 5. Walk in wisdom toward them that are without, redeeming the time. All right, walk in wisdom toward them that are without, redeeming the time. All right, so let's break it down, right? What does it mean to walk in wisdom? All right, we can say that we believe that we know and understand what this is saying because it's straightforward, and it really is. But because I understand that not everybody's at the same stage in their walk, we can't always just assume that people understand. A lot of people don't even understand how to use the interlinear. All right. A lot of people who use the interlinear don't understand that you can't always use the interlinear. All right. Your spirit, the Holy Spirit of discernment, will have to let you know if what's written in the interlinear is applicable or not, or if it's a hijack put in there by, the Gentiles, who put together the Blue Letter Bible and the Strong's Concordance. All right. The same people who wrote these commentaries that you can read in the online Bible, right? They weren't necessarily Israelites, in the Holy Spirit. And so sometimes what they say has to be taken with a grain of salt. All right. So to walk, all right, it says to be occupied in, all right, to make one's way, to progress, to make due use of opportunities. But here's the one we want. Hebrew for to live. So to walk in means to live, to regulate one's life, to conduct oneself, all right, to pass oneself. So this is what we're looking for, all right, to be occupied with, all right. You see, I highlight on the screen in case you didn't know where I was reading from, all right, to live, deport oneself, all right. So to walk in, meaning to regulate one's life by wisdom. All right. Walk in wisdom, to regulate your life by wisdom, to conduct your life by wisdom. All right. That's what it means. Now, also, we should all understand what wisdom is, right? We know it's a spirit and we know that it's a thing. All right. Something that we should all seek to attain. All right. So, but for the sake of studying, let's go get wisdom in the interlinear. All right. And it says, Wisdom, broad and full of intelligence, used of the knowledge of very diverse matters. All right. And you got all of these other possible, you know, meanings of what it can mean. And then you got to have discernment to tell you which meaning is appropriate or applicable in the instance in which you're reading. But what we want here is the very first one, used of the knowledge of very diverse matters. All right. Used of the knowledge of very diverse matters. All right. So you want to walk in the knowledge of very diverse matters. And these diverse matters are really specific to the scriptures, to the way of the Most High. All right. So you want to walk in the wisdom, walk in the knowledge of what's pleasing to the Most High, how he wants you to live, how he wants you to conduct your lives, right? In each circumstance, in every instance, there is a way of the world view of it, and there is a what would Yahawashi do? How would my father feel about this view of the matter? All right, and that's the view that we're supposed to have. So to walk in wisdom is to walk or to live, conduct our lives by the mind of our power. All right, as best as you can to try to walk by the mind of our power. And Yahawashi came, and what he did was he revealed the mind of the Father to the elect so that we can get to know him. So we have the wisdom to know what to do, what we ought to do, and what we ought not to do. All right. So wisdom is broad, full of intelligence, especially spiritual insight from above, the knowledge of very diverse matters. All right. I want to apply that to spiritual insight from above, the spiritual insight on diverse matters. All right. So Paul isn't just telling us to live smart, but he is, but not that alone. Right. So this is about living with spiritual discernment and kingdom minded conduct. All right. Kingdom minded conduct. You got to filter your life through this, especially when you're among those not in the truth. All right. That's why it says, walk in wisdom toward them who are without, meaning those who are outside. Outside of what? Outside of the truth. All right. Walk in wisdom toward them. So, as it pertains to people who are outside of the truth, you have to walk in wisdom concerning them. You see, so we're narrowing it. We started with the broad spectrum. Now we're narrowing it because it's being specific here. Not just talking about walking in wisdom in general, but walking in wisdom toward them who are outside of the faith, who are outside of the truth, because most people are outside of the faith and outside of the truth. And so most people who you come in contact with will be those people. And so we are given instructions on how to deal with them, how to I don't want to say handle them, but how to interact with them and how to move around them. All right. So that word Sophia was used to describe the wisdom that comes from above. All right. Remember, Sophia, that was the word for wisdom, right? And so that was used to describe the wisdom that comes from above. Let's go to real quick to James chapter 3, verse 17. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated. Listen, the wisdom that's from, see, this is a bar, right? This is key. When you're listening to someone teach, right? The wisdom that is from above is first pure, right? Meaning it's uncut. The Most High gives it to you uncut, raw, right? Then it's peaceable, all right? It starts to work through you and go through your spirit, right? And your spirit, if you are led of the Holy Spirit, you have a filtering mechanism inside of you that filters in everything you take in, all right? Before you end up teaching or speaking, and then whatever's inside of you comes out. That's why also why Yahawashi says that what comes out of a man defiles him, right? Because that comes from his heart. All right. It comes from his mind. All right. It comes from his inner being, who he is, comes out when he speaks. All right. And so you can see if someone has if the Holy Spirit is their filter or not. So the wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated. Easy to be entreated. What does it mean? Easy to be entreated. Easily obeying, meaning it's easy to obey. It's easy to be compliant with that thing. Again, another way you know that the law of Moses is not the will of the Father, because it's not easy to be entreated. It's not easy to obey it. It's not easy to be compliant with the law of Moses. You see? Or good for persuasion. All right. Complying, easy to be entreated. All right. So it's good for persuasion, easily obeying, or easy to be compliant with. All right. And that's, again, that's for those who are of the Spirit. Because if you're not, then this very same thing that's easy for those who have the Holy Spirit is going to be difficult to impossible for those who are without it. All right. It says it's full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. You see? So this is a charge to represent the Most High with wisdom. All right. That's what um, uh, Colossians 4 and 5 is all about. Trying to get back to it. All right. Colossians verse 4, verse 4, chapter 4, verse 5. All right. This is a charge to represent the Most High around those who are outside of the faith with wisdom, because you can win people over with wisdom of the Most High, letting our light shine, right? All right. We are told to be as wise as serpents, right? Wise as serpents, but not compromised. All right. We walk differently because we carry light in a dark world. This is what we're supposed to do. Walk differently, right? Because we carry light in an evil, dark world. All right. We go to Matthew 10, verse 16. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. This is how we're supposed to conduct ourselves out in the world around these unbelievers, around those who are outside of the faith, outside of this truth. All right. This is instructions for living, wise instructions for living. All right. So again, I mentioned it, but we're gonna get a little bit more into it. So toward them who are without, right? I said what it means, but I want to get it in the linear for study purposes, just to show people, right, about the art of study and how I study. All right, toward. All right, with regard to. All right, to the advantage of, at, near, by, towards, with, or with regard to. All right, walking wisdom with regard to, right, with regard to them that are without, without, out of doors. All right, out of doors, out, away. All right, away. So they are away from this truth. They are out or outside, right? Outside of wisdom outside of truth, the people who are without wisdom, people who are without the Holy Spirit, the people who are without the truth. Walk with wisdom in regard to those who are outside of wisdom, outside of truth. All right, so the phrase them that are without refers to those that are not in the faith, outsiders to the truth, often Gentiles or unbelieving Israelites who are also Gentiles, right? If you're an unbelieving Israelite, you are also a Gentile. All right. So so this verse teaches balance, right? It's instruction for living and it teaches balance. Don't be reckless or puffed up with what you know. You're dealing with unawakened souls. Remember this, all right? You're dealing with those who have not come to the knowledge of the truth that you have been gifted with. So wisdom has to be your cloak and your conduct. Because the goal is not to show off your knowledge. That's not what I do when I come here. My goal is to teach, to edify, and to help save souls. All right. It's not to walk in knowledge, but to walk in the fruits of the Spirit so that they may see the light in you and be drawn to it. All right. Heard Matthew 5 and 16. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father, which is in heaven. That's the goal, right? Is to cause our Father to be glorified through our good works. He shines through us, and then he is glorified in us. All right, we lift up our head, our Father, and our King Yahawashi, so that he may draw all men unto him. Not about ourselves, right? All right, so the next part is redeeming the time. All right, walk in wisdom toward them who are outside of the truth, redeeming the time. Let's go get it. Because yeah, let's go get it. All right, so redeeming, to redeem by payment of a price, to recover from the power of another, to ransom, to buy off. Right, metaphor of Hamashiach freeing the elect from the dominion of the Mosaic law at the price of his vicarious death. All right, to buy up for one's self, for one's use, to make wise and sacred use of every opportunity for doing good, so that zeal and well-doing are, as it were, the purchase money by which we make the time our own. This is what we want. All right. Redeeming, to make wise use of every opportunity for doing good, for letting our light so shine before men, so that zeal and well-doing are, as it were, the purchase money by which we make time our own. Okay? Let's just get it because we're here. Time, opportunity, season. All right? Due measure, a measure of time, a larger or smaller portion of time. All right? A fixed and definite time, the time when things are brought to crisis, the decisive epoch or age waited for. Aren't we in the decisive age of time that has been long waited for by Israelites all throughout time, all throughout the past? We are in that measure of time waited for. An opportune or seasonable time, the right time, a limited period of time. All right. So redeeming the time. All right. So this isn't just, it's not poetic. All right. I mean, it is, but it's not just poetic, it's prophetic. As you see, right? I just talked about the word at this time that this was talking about. All right. So the command is to make full use of the opportunity, knowing the time is short. All right. Make full use of the opportunity, knowing the time is short. If we go to Ephesians chapter 5, verse 16, here it says, redeeming the time because the days are evil. All right. Redeeming the time because the days are evil. Same thing. Redeeming the time means the same thing. It's emphasis being put on this. Emphasis in Ephesus. All right. Sorry, I couldn't help it. So the word going back, which is it'd be the same word here, but we're going to go back though, right? So the word here, as regards to time, speaks of a divine window, right? The age, right? The epoch waited for, the decisive, not just any age, the decisive, meaning the final, right? The final age waited for. All right. We are here. We are there. All right. It's an appointed season, meaning there's a set time for your work and a closing window for reaching others. All right. So we have a window of time to do our work and to reach others. And then it's over. Right. Yahweh willing, we are fast approaching the end of this window, the end of the time. That's why it's critical to get this and to get it now, because you won't always have teachers out here. The elect will be taken out of the way, and you won't have the elect to feed you. You're going to have to rely on, you're going to have to stand on what you know, what you've learned already. All right. Then we're going to go into the time of works. We're in the time of faith. All right. And the people who don't make it because of their faith are going to have to make it because of their works. All right. So I understand, this window, and I want you to understand this window also. All right. So redeeming the time means treating every moment like it's borrowed, sacred, and urgent. So don't let your time among unbelievers be wasted. You might have an opportunity to let your light shine. All right. When the Most High brings you around people, you have gatherings or whatever it is, you know, the Most High may give you an opportunity to teach other people. And see, this is critical even for myself. And see, it just shows how the Holy Spirit works, right? Is that this morning before I started studying, I got an invite, an evite from a relative, right, from my aunt, you know, talking about a family reunion coming up and so forth. And I was debating like, do I even want to go? I don't know if I want to go. I don't know if I want to go and be around all of those folks. I don't know if I want to go pretend like I want to be there, like I want to be around them. Yeah, they're my family and I love them, but again, because my spirit is so much different from theirs, like none of them are in this walk like I am, right? So being around them can be vexing, and their conversation are conversations that I want to have. And you got some, who are you got Jehovah's Witnesses, you got Christians, and and you got not unbelievers, atheists, well, those who don't believe in nothing. And so, I got to be around all of these people, and I got to be around those who are kind of in the truth, but kind of not. They're kind of like lukewarm, one toe into the truth. And so being around them is vexing because every time I come around, they want to have these conversations with me, right? But it's like I teach them and I give them wisdom and then they don't apply it. They don't use it. It's like I spoke with them. I talked to them for nothing. Like all the time was just for entertainment. It wasn't for edification. And so I get frustrated, with being around them, talking to them all the time, teaching them things, and for them to just act like, nothing was ever taught. Or they want to try to have conversations and they want to try to teach me things and they don't know what they're talking about. And I'm teaching them, and it comes, and they want to get like into this competition of who really has more wisdom. Like, oh no, no, I know that, I know that, I know that too. Yeah, 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 I know that. Yeah, yeah, I know, I know that too. You know what I'm saying? It's a prideful thing, and it's like it's vexing to me, man. You know what I mean? And so debating whether or not I even want to go, right? And I had the thought that maybe I should go and, just take the opportunity when a conversation come up to teach, because maybe this time, you never know, right? It's the foolishness of preaching, right? The repetition, and just maybe this time would be the time when I reach somebody, right? And then I was like, nah, I don't want to go. And then look, I get into this lesson, and just by me doing this lesson, he's put this on my spirit that, hey, look, just reading this is that no, I want you to go. This is what I'm possibly getting from it. I want you to go. I want you to have this opportunity. I'm providing you with this opportunity to be a witness for me. I'm giving you this opportunity to teach, to let my light shine through you, because there's somebody who I either want to teach or I want to take away their ability to plead ignorance. See, that's the other thing, right? It could be all about them having the opportunity to reject the truth so that they can be worthy of condemnation. All right. So, this is what I have to consider, and pray and see if what I think is being communicated to me is what's actually being communicated to me. And if that turns out to be the case, then I'm going to go. If it is not, then I won't go. But see, just flowing in the spirit, I think this is what it's all about. I didn't come to this, for no reason. All right. When I sat down to study, I said, everything is through the Most High. Nothing is for nothing. I didn't know where I was going to go in the scriptures. He just put it on my spirit to go find some scriptures on wisdom and go read from my own study. And then he put it on my spirit to teach. And through this teaching, he's teaching me and making me aware. He's communicating something to me that he wants me to know, to understand, or to consider. You see? So your walk might be the only sermon they ever see. Your walk might be the only sermon these people ever see. And remember, the gospel has to reach everybody, right? And if I'm the only one, see what he's doing? Look, as I'm talking, he's enlightening me. This is the spirit moving my lips and my thoughts. I might be the only way they get this enlightenment. Where else are they going to get it from? And they got to get it. Everybody has to have an opportunity to accept or reject the truth. So everyone needs to have someone in their lives that come around and speaks the truth. Otherwise, people can plead ignorance and say it's not fair. I never heard the truth. Nobody ever taught me. Nobody ever told me. I didn't know anybody who knew the truth. You see, my family, they would be able to say that if not for me. You see, he's making it clear, right? He's kind of making it clear. You know what I'm saying? So, don't resist the Holy Spirit, right? Yahweh Ram, take the take the hint. All right. And so I hear him. But do you see how this walk? You're watching the Holy Spirit operate in real time. So walking with wisdom in the wicked world is really the summation of it. So, this passage was was loaded with stuff for me to teach and for me to learn. All right. How to represent the kingdom among unbelievers, the balance of boldness and discernment, understanding that time is precious and our time around those who are without must be strategic, not casual. So it's also telling me that I should prepare if I'm going to go, to prepare to have these conversations, to already be prepared for what I'm going to say, for what I would teach. Don't just show up and freestyle. Wow. So, using the Colossians 4 and 5 to teach the elect how to carry themselves in the midst of wolves, and not with compromise, but with wisdom that preserves their witness. and maximizes their ministry is what the Most High put it on my spirit to do here today. And I pray that you guys were all blessed and benefited by it. All right. Just want to get a few more scriptures and then we can go ahead and get out of here. All right. So let's get Daniel chapter 12. Daniel 12, verse 3. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament. All right. You're seeing that right now. All right. And they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. One more time. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament. And they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. So those who turn many to righteousness shall shine as the brightness of the firmament forever and ever. And this is the great hope and the belief that I have, the strength, the knowledge, the wisdom of my faith, right? What gives me stability in these times and confidence and strength in my salvation. All right, let's go to Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiasticus 4, verse 20. Observe the opportunity and beware of evil, and be not ashamed when it concerneth thy soul. So what I understand when I hear that is don't be ashamed of this truth. Don't be ashamed of what I know and what I have faith in and what I believe. Don't let others who are outside of this truth, those who are not in this faith, cause me to be ashamed, meaning cause me to shut up, to stop my lips, to not speak the truth, to not speak the truth, to not teach the truth. All right. Don't shy away from this truth. Don't try to pretend like what's in me isn't in me for the sake of the people that I'm around just because they are unbelievers. Observe the opportunity. All right, the opportunity to be a light to others and beware of evil. Beware of those who, may hate you because of it. Those who may despise you, those who may be jealous because of your light, because of the wisdom that you've been gifted with. All right. Beware of the evil that may come from, you know, those who may try to come in and poo-poo on you speaking and preaching. For instance, if I'm teaching and the individual who's an atheist is circling and listening for an opportunity to scoff and cause derision, to be divisive and derail the conversation, always beware of those potentials and things like that. All right. Observe the opportunity while also being aware of evil, that it's everywhere. It can even come from the people who love you. All right. So with that in mind, I want to say thanks for joining me today. I'll be Yahweh. Let us walk in wisdom, not in the wisdom of this world, but the wisdom that comes from you. Teach us how to redeem the time in this evil age. Let our footsteps bear fruit, even among those who are outside of the truth. May we walk with discipline, love, and purpose, knowing our time is short and that our witness is powerful. In the name of our King, Hamashiach, Yahawashi, and through your Holy Spirit, we give all praise, honor, and glory to you, Father, Yahweh. Amen. All right, you guys. Again, I pray you guys were blessed. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Each one, reach one. Well, I'll see you guys on the next one, Yahweh willing. Let me phrase that correctly. All right. So be a blessing to someone else today if you get the opportunity. Each one, reach one. Shalom.